Weekend Warriors. Dan Campbell's a weekend warrior every single weekend, and so is this Lions team, the way they're playing for him, Matthew. The whole damn offense makes our weekend warriors list.
I mean, they're destroying people. They're sucking souls out of the other team. They're crushing people. Every single one of them. Goff was amazing. Amon-Ra. They didn't have Sam Laporta in this game, and so fine. Here's a touchdown, Brock Wright. Everything they're doing is working now. Obviously, the Jaguars, it's been a tough year for Jacksonville, but still, if you got a Lion, start him.
Yeah, I mean,
even Bates has been a good fantasy kicker.
It's insane. You're right. Jared Goff going into Monday Night Football as the number one quarterback by a healthy margin, by the way. Jared Goff with about 35 fantasy points, and our next weekend warrior was QB3 going into Monday Night Football. That's Bo Nix, who had about four touchdowns in this game, over 300 yards. The Falcons' offense, Jay, did not have an answer for Sean Payton and Bo Nix in this game.
Yeah, I don't understand why the Falcons' defense isn't better. I don't get it. They have better personnel than what they're showing.
They're awful.
Yeah, they don't have a pass rush is the issue. They just weren't at the races in this one. Bo Nix, the stats were great. Now, there's a lot of yak involved, but at the same time, he just looks like such a different, more just confident quarterback. His footwork, Connor, just looks so much more assured. He's not drifting back in the pocket like he was bizarrely in that Saints game in primetime. He has made huge strides, and if he's going to put up these type of passing numbers to go with the pretty high floor that he gives with his rushing, then he's
and he didn't even need that yesterday.
Yeah,
he didn't even need to run yesterday because the passing was so efficient.
Yeah, I mean, running up the score, short, quick passes, taking advantage of yards after the catch. You saw the quick little stuff to Marvin Mims, and he gets into the end zone as well. A lot of spacing. Yeah. Where have we seen this before? Let me think about it. In New Orleans with Drew Brees. Again, I'm not saying Bo Nix is Drew Brees, but Sean Payton likes to run up the score. This is the Sean Payton offense, is that he's running it with Bo Nix. And again, I think the future is very bright. 11 touchdowns in the last 4 games for Bo Nix, 9 passing, 1 rushing, 1 receiving for Bo Nix. That was crazy. Third highest ever completion percentage in a game by a rookie quarterback. He looked like the real deal. And their schedule is nice, right? They're at Las Vegas this week, home to Cleveland, then they got a bye, then they're home to Indianapolis. So, I think I'm be voting for Jaden Daniels for Offensive Rookie of the Year, but it's a conversation.
Sure.
I mean, and this is me. I mean, as big a Jaden Daniels homer as there is in media, and Bo Nix has made it a conversation, legitimately.
Well, away from the quarterbacks, who deserves to at least be in the conversation is Brock Bowers, who caught 13 of 16 targets, 126 yards, and a touchdown, Matthew. I mean, Brock Bowers is just a dominant force for this Raiders team that I know they don't have a lot to hold on to right now, but whoever the quarterback is of the future for this team, they'll come in and know who the hell their number one target is.
He's got a 41% target share. He had a 41% target share in this one, 16 targets, 13 for 126, and the receiving touchdown. New offense coordinator, again, Scott Turner. His father, Norv, is there, is helping as well. Not surprising. Scott Turner's all right, what do I have to work with on this team? Brock Bowers. Let me get it to him. Their running backs also got banged up. They were down in this game, so all those things contributed. But, yeah, I mean, if you were redrafting today, I don't know how Brock Bowers isn't the number one tight end you draft.
Easily.
I mean, he might catch over 100 passes this year.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned, it's between him and Jamar Chase for the receptions lead in the NFL. It's insanity. It's Brock Bowers' world. We just live in it.
Another tight end on the Weekend Warriors list, Jay. Jonnu Smith catches 6 of 8, goes over 100 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Jonnu.
Yeah, he's averaging 6 targets per game since Tua came back. He had 8 against the Raiders. With just the minimization of Jalen Waddle in this offense, Jonnu Smith, I think, is a very viable starting tight end in an offense that seems to have finally gotten right.
Matthew, Juwan Jennings with a big day, catches 10 of 11 targets for 91 yards and a touchdown. Since Ayuk has been down, Jennings has been a factor.
He's been on the love list. We've talked about him. We talked him up on Fantasy Football pregame as well. This is not a surprise as well. The 2 games, as you mentioned, since Ayuk's been out, over 20 fantasy points. In games in which Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk don't play, Juwan Jennings just absolutely balls out. This is not a fluke. And I think you could make a strong argument that you'd prefer to have Juwan Jennings over Deebo Samuel the rest of the way. Just the way they're playing.
The target share, consistency.
The target share, the
game.
consistency. Sure. No George Kittle in this game either. McCaffrey was muted for McCaffrey. But still, nothing about when you watch Juwan Jennings play tells you, this is fluky.
He's
legitimate, and there's a real connection between him and Brock Purdy.
2 Packers on the list here, Jay. Josh Jacobs, volume, 18 carries, 76 yards, and a rushing touchdown, 4 catches, 58 yards. But Christian Watson, no volume. He only has 4 targets, catches all of them for 150 yards.
I mean, that's kind of the Christian Watson experience. They could connect on that 60-yarder and go 3 for 90 outside of that, so that's encouraging. But with Josh Jacobs, I think the key here is that he got targeted 5 times in the passing game and goes 4 for 58 through the end. So that's what elevates Jacobs into being a true RB1.
Yeah.
The Sunday Scaries is headlined by Kirk Cousins. We talked about that Broncos-Falcons game where the Falcons had no answer for the Broncos with Bo Nix. The Falcons' offense had no answers in this one, Matthew. But Kirk Cousins, 18 of 27, throws a pick, 173 yards, no touchdowns. And Bijan Robinson fell victim to this as well. He only has 35 rushing yards in this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, he is one of only 2 running backs that has at least 10 fantasy points in every game this season. It's him and Derrick Henry, so at least there's a slight floor there. But Denver's got a really good defense. It's a really tough place to play. And as it relates to Kirk Cousins, if you take out those 2 Tampa Bay games, those 2 Tampa Bay games have really inflated his overall season numbers fantasy-wise. Kirk Cousins has been under 13 fantasy points in 7 of 11 games. Real quickly, Connor, just as long as we're talking about this game, a friend of mine on Twitter, Brian Johnson, he put out there and he said, Fraudrick Estime. Your thoughts?
Oh, tough.
Oh, wow.
We're working on this. We're going through the information.
Okay.
Or at least more.
All right.
We're not abandoning ship on Audric Estime.
All right. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Falcons looked like quite the pass funnel yesterday, if I've ever seen one.
Tough game. By the way, 2 running backs that face each other, Tony Pollard and Aaron Jones. 2 tough defenses. They just couldn't get going as well. Aaron Jones, very frustrating. Cam Akers catches the short receiving touchdown. That should have been Aaron Jones. I don't know that there's anything you can do here. Aaron Jones, I'm not worried about.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Tony Pollard, I think this is legitimate. I mean, 5th straight game without a touchdown. He hasn't scored since week 6. And again, we talked about he was on the hate list for a reason this week. It's because of as long as Tajay Spears out there, they're just both getting kind of half the work in a low scoring offense. Now Tajay Spears banged up, so
concussion protocol. But
if he misses next week against Houston, the Titans play Houston next week. If he misses next week against the Texans, then you feel better about Pollard as well. And finally, just about T.J. Hawkinson, tough one. He's been under 6 fantasy points in 2 of the 3 games since he returned, but I don't know.
Better days ahead.
Better days ahead for T.J. Hawkinson.
He
I was
looked
encouraged
great
by Sam
last
Darnold. He didn't look great, but he looked better than.
He's totally fine.
He's fine. Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.